Hi, I'm Dimity Sky. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Today's flow is a hips and twist flow. You won't need any props for it, just yourself in some comfy clothes. Get ready and I'll see you soon. We'll start class today over on our backs. Come to lie all the way down and just hug your knees in. And give yourself a little bit of self-love here. Now extend the arms out to either side and let your knees fall to the right as you gaze left. And gently starting to wake up, warm up the spine. Inhale back to center and exhale for the other side. Inhale back to center and plant your left foot down, extend your left arm out to the left and then grab a hold on the inside or the outside of your right foot for your half happy baby pose. You can also hold on around the ankle if flexibility is just a little bit challenged today. You can move around if you like, gently tug down through that foot. Make any sort of movements that feel good. Now slowly release and you're going to cross that leg over the top of the left, coming into your reclined pigeon. You can grab a hold behind the thigh or around the shin. Make sure you're flexing your right toes in. And again, you can make some little movements, some little rocks here if that feels nice. And gently massaging the lower spine. Now from here, you're going to cross that right leg all the way over the left. If you can take a double wrap here with the feet, great. If not, no worries. Extend your arms out to either side and then let your knees fall to the left as you gaze right. Coming into your twisted root pose. Now we're not holding any of these poses for too long because we're just in the warm-up phase of our practice today. Just starting to get everything warmed up. Inhale back to center. Now plant both feet and then you can take your half happy baby on your left side. So you'll grab a hold on the inside or the outside of that left foot. And you can just let your right leg splay out and gently tug down on that left leg. Again, making any movements that you would like to make. More flexible, you might even like to extend that left leg all the way out, coming into your half straddle. Now slowly transition and cross that left leg over the right and take your reclined pigeon. You can grab a hold behind the thigh or around the shin and rock back and forth if that feels nice. Now very slowly release and you're going to take your twisted root pose. So you cross that left leg all the way over the right, extend your arms out to either side and then let your knees fall to the right as you gaze left. And a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now very slowly release, come on back, unravel the legs, and then do a little roll up and over and come onto your hands and knees. Find your tabletop position, and we're just going to take a couple of rounds of cat-cow. We'll take 3 rounds. So if you like, you can bring your hands to face in towards the knees. That can be a nice way to warm up through the forearms. If that doesn't feel nice, then you can just keep them facing forward. And we'll do 3 rounds. Inhale, gaze on up. exhale, round your spine. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, round. Last one, inhale, gaze up. And exhale, round. Now slowly release, come back to a neutral spine. Bring your hands back to face forward if they're facing backwards. And then bring your knees out, slightly wider than hip width, less than mat width. Inhale, raise your arm up, open up, create space through the chest. Exhale, thread it all the way through to the left. Right side of head comes down onto the mat. Twice more like that. We inhale, come on up, open up through the chest. Exhale, thread it through. Last one, inhale all the way up. And exhale, thread it through. And you can hold here for a couple of breaths. If you want to go a little deeper, then you can extend your left leg out behind you and reach through left heel. Holding for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release, bring that back leg back in if it was out. Come all the way back. Now plant your right hand and we'll do the other side. Inhale, left arm up, open up through the chest. Exhale, thread it through. And again, inhale up. Exhale, thread it through. Last one, inhale all the way up. And exhale, thread it through. And you can hold here. We'll take about 3 deep breaths. If you like, you can extend that right leg out behind you, reach through right heel. So nice. 1 more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Now very slowly release. Bring that leg back in if it was out. Come all the way up. And then extend your right leg out behind you. Reach through that right leg. So you want to find the full extension of that leg. Point through the toes. Now bring that right leg out to the right. Walk the hands forward. Tuck your back toes. And start to shift the hips backwards and forths. Inhale down and exhale forward. So more flexible, you can maybe even bring your pelvis the whole way down onto the mat. Shoulder blades pulling down your back. 2 more. Inhale down. Exhale forward. Last one. You can make these movements as big or as small as you like. Last one here. Now come all the way up and you'll take that right leg and walk the hands back firstly. Take that right leg and cross it over the top of your left. And then just start to shift the hips backwards and forth in this position. Again, you can make these movements as big or as small as suits you. This one's a really nice way to just get some length and space through the outer glutes. 1 more, inhale back and exhale up. Now slowly release and find your tabletop position again. Extend your left leg out. Straighten your leg, point your toes. Find length through that leg, through the spine. Now take that left leg out over to the left. Tuck your back toes and start to shift the hips backwards and forth. Inhale down, exhale forward. 3 more, inhale down, exhale forward. Last one, working with your breath. Inhale down and exhale forward. Now come on up, walk the hands back just a little and cross that left leg over the top of the right and just start to shift your hips backwards and forth here. So you can walk those hands out as much as they need to be. The main thing to know about this sort of stuff, this dynamic sort of movement, is that there's no right or wrong. It's just about you feeling what feels good for your body. 1 more. Inhale down and exhale up. Now slowly release. Come back into your tabletop. Then walk the hands forward just a little, tuck your toes, and press on up and back into your downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, you can walk the feet out, move the hips from side to side, bend your knees. Make any sort of movements that feel good. Now raise that right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip, and start to circle the hip around. Taking those movements one way, and then take them the other way. Now straighten your leg, point your toes, shift the weight forward, bring your knee into the nose, and then step it in between the hands for a low lunge, lower the back knee down. And from here, you're just going to start to do some dynamic movements again, shifting the hips backwards and forths. Starting to open up and stretch out the psoas. If this dynamic stuff doesn't really work for you, if you'd rather stay static in a static hold, then you can do that as well. Now from here, we'll start to shift the front foot backwards and forth. So you'll flex that front toe in and then plant the foot. Again, flex those front toes in, plant the foot. Last one, flex those front toes in and plant that foot. Now with your back toes tucked, strong through the hands, you'll step it back, downward facing dog. Raise the left leg up, bend the knee, open the hip, and start to circle the hip around. Nice big movements through the hip. Take those circles the other way. Now straighten your leg, point your toes, shift the weight forward, bring the knee into the nose and step it in between your hands. Low lunge, lower the back knee down, and then just start to shift back and forth. Making any movements that feel good. Such a nice way to stretch out the psoas muscle. It's a small muscle, but it connects the upper body and the lower body, so it's very important, and it gets tight very easily. All right, start to shift the weight, that front foot, backwards and forths. Flex and plant. Flex and plant. And please, if you have knee sensitivity, please place a blanket or something underneath your knee area. You want to make sure you're looking after yourself. All right, now plant your hands, step that left foot back to meet the right. And now we're going to come on down into a hero pose. So you're just going to open up the knees nice and wide. Big toes will touch. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, bring buttocks down onto the heels. Now more flexible, your chin will be down, so your gaze is forward. Otherwise, forehead down on the mat is absolutely fine. And just take 3 deep breaths here as you open up through the hips. Allow yourself to soften into the pose with every exhale breath. One more deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Now very slowly release, and you're going to just slide on forward, come onto your tummy, and we'll take a Sphinx pose. So the tops of your feet are pressing down into the mat, and your hands are forward. You feel for pulling the chest forward and the arms back, creating space through the spine. And if your lower back is okay, then maybe you can even start to walk the hands up and bring it into a supported cobra. Really starting to lengthen and strengthen the spine. No pushing it though. Just work to your level, wherever you're at. Wherever you're at is totally fine. Now slowly release, come all the way down, and then you're going to bring your left arm parallel to the front of the mat, and then take your right hand, reach on back, and see if you can just grab a hold. You want to place your hand on the top of your right foot and just very gently begin to pull that right foot in towards the buttocks. Just starting to stretch out the thigh. It's also a really nice stretch for the top of your foot. So nice. One more breath here. Now slowly release, and we'll take it to the other side. Right arm parallel, reach on back, grab a hold around the top of that foot, and just very gently begin to pull it in towards the buttocks. If you want to make some little pulses here, you can do that. Nice, now very slowly release, and come on back. Now, you'll plant your hands, tuck your toes, and press on up into your tabletop, and then come on back into your downward facing dog. So just position yourself so you're in your downward facing dog. Focus on descending your heels down into the mat. So just making some gentle little pulses here as your heels gently attempt to descend down into the mat. Just a little more. Really nice way to stretch out through your calves and hamstrings. Now slowly begin to walk the feet to the front of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold it forward. Take a moment here in your forward folds. Taking any variation that you like. If you want to take a ragdoll, you can. You grab a hold of opposite elbows and just let yourself hang. Now very slowly release, root down strongly through the feet, press on up. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands down and by your side. Now step it out to the wide part of your mat, finding your goddess pose. So your toes are pointed out, your knees are tracking past your toes. Bring your hands to the insides of the thighs. Inhale, open up through the chest. And exhale, press strongly against right inner thigh and drop your right shoulder in, opening up through the hips and also getting a really nice twist through the upper back. Inhale back to center and exhale for the other side. Inhale back to center, exhale to rise. Now bring your feet so they're pointing a little more forward. Bring left hand to the hip. Take that right hand and bring it to make a triangle in between the feet. And then if you can, you'll raise that left arm all the way up. And maybe even bring that left arm to the inner right thigh. Keep your gaze up. Now inhale back to center and change sides. So that right hand either comes to the hip, otherwise maybe you can extend it the whole way up, reach on up. More flexible, you take that right hand, bring it to the inner left thigh. Inhale back to center. And then from here, you're going to just start to shift the hips backwards and forwards. And if you can, more flexible, you're going to even bring it all the way down into your Skandasana. Then you can start to move back and forth in this position. That's it, we'll go one more to the right. This one brings out all the hip cracks. If you're getting a few, I guarantee you're not alone. Now slowly release. Come all the way up, heel toe the feet together. And then you can just simply bring your buttocks down onto the mat. Scoot your buttocks back and extend your legs out forward. Inhale, long spine, flex your toes in. Exhale, come all the way down. And take 3 deep breaths here. Keeping those toes flexed in, shoulders back and down. Allow yourself to just sink a little deeper into the pose with every exhale breath. One more breath. Now very slowly release. Come all the way down onto your back and take a full happy baby pose. So you'll grab a hold of the insides or the outsides of the feet, wherever feels nice. Around the ankles is an option as well. Gently tugging down, creating more space through the hips. Now very slowly release, and you're going to extend that left leg all the way and grab a hold of the right foot. Now you're going to try to cradle that right leg in. So this is going to look different depending on your flexibility levels. So more flexible, you're going to take that right leg, bring it to the inner elbow crease on the right side. Right foot comes to the left elbow crease, and then you can just lower your chest down, your shoulder blades down onto the mat. So if that's not happening, you can always just take another reclined pigeon. You'll be able to go a little bit deeper at this point. Otherwise, just work to your level. So if your shoulder blades are still up off the mat, then that's fine as well. Just take a couple of deep breaths here. Cradle that leg in, making any sort of movements that feel good. Now very slowly release. You're going to hug that right knee in and bring it over to the left for a twist. Extend that right arm out to the right. Every exhale breath, you release another layer of tension. Now inhale back to center. And you're going to extend your right leg all the way out, and just see if you can cradle that left leg in, making any sort of modifications that you need to here. So again, you've got that option of coming into another reclined pigeon, just getting a little more depth this time through. We store a lot of emotional energy and tension in the hips, so it's always good to be aware of what might come up as we're working with the hips. We're releasing tension not just on a physical plane, but also mentally and emotionally. Now slowly release and hug that left knee into the chest. Left knee comes over to the right for a twist. See if you've got any more healthy cracks to be released. Extend that left arm out to the left. Following your breathing, your inhales and your exhales. And very slowly, inhale back to center. And then you can just bring both feet down on the mat, arms resting by your side. Setting yourself up for your Shavasana. In your Shavasana, you'll bring all of your attention onto your breath. Notice a new sense of lightness, of freedom, spaciousness in the body and in the mind. Now I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you need. This is where I leave you. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today.